Speaking of R.Kelly, did you hear about Sony?
Yeah,
They released him.
He was dropped. He was definitely dropped.
They're feeling the pressure of the.
Oh yeah, they was feeling that big pressure. Oh my god, they was feeling that white person caught a black guy kicking a dog pressure. They was feeling that.
What?
They was they got that.
Wait,
They got that Michael Vick dog fighting pressure. That Peter dog fight. That Peter pressure. Like that Glad pressure. That they got the pressure.
What? I mean, it's definitely no question that they're late, right?
Oh yeah, they're
late.
Yeah.
So my thing is, what do you think the difference between the people who were, because you and I last week, we had a good conversation with a good friend who was telling us about how people were protesting back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
And talking about boycotting Kels back then. What do you think is the difference now in the sense of why a label would feel that sort of heat to be like, oh, okay, well, we're going to release him?
I mean, he's not generating the amount of money that nowhere near the amount of money he was generating then, but he's still generating money through streams of his catalog. But yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, they still probably own some of his publishing, own some of his masters. So they still going to eat even though they dropped them.
Yeah.
So that's just, the dropping is just to save face, but they still eating off R.Kelly. Somebody got to get paid off them streams.
I think that's an example of how social media can be used for a good thing, because oftentimes we always think about social media when we use it as a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the time, because social media, you're seeing you
can definitely apply pressure.
Right. And you're seeing the result of something like right then and there. Like if you put a song out, you don't have to, you're seeing that people like it right then and there for the most part. And when people really organize and put their energy towards something that they really got their eyes set on something, you're going to feel that pressure. Like you can't, like where in the 90s a label wouldn't, unless you standing out front of their building, which to my understanding there was a protest of people standing in front of the Sony building, I think earlier this week. So not only were you feeling the pressure on social media, but you had people in front of your building. They were in your face. So, there's something to be said about that.
I'm sure
on both
they
ends.
had something going on outside of Jive back in the day, but when you generate millions upon millions upon millions, I mean, nobody cares.
We have to
they'll get tired of walking around in a circle eventually. Just
let
leave
them eat cake is how they feel,
just
right?
leave them be. Leave them be.
Yeah.
They'll get tired of walking around in a circle.
Remember the Occupy Wall Street thing, and the people were protesting outside of Wall Street, and the people that were inside, like the stockbrokers and all them, they started drinking champagne in front of the people who were protesting, like drinking champagne, like, yeah, y'all be all right, y'all in the rain. It's like I think that's how that situation kind of faked out to be. So, that's with the Kale situation, you think that this is over? Like, you think that getting him off the label, that this over, or is going to be more repercussion?
I mean, it's going to be more repercussion. I think the next step is probably going to be taking all his music off of the. They're going to put the pressure on iTunes, SoundCloud, and all the streaming services to get his music off of there. That'll probably be the next thing they push, if they pushed anything, because that's the bread. That's the money.
So here's the question, though:
he's not coming out with an album right now?
But is that a slippery slope? Because if we take Kels, for example, and we take him off the Spotify's, and we take him off, then are we going to start looking at other artists in the same way? Like, are we going to, like, is Michael Jackson Thriller coming down?
Well, I guess you got to call Lifetime.
What you mean?
I guess you got to call Lifetime.
Are you talking about the actual channel?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, what's the next step? Like, are we going to start taking...
That's what I'm saying. You're going to have to call Lifetime. Because Lifetime is the one that did the Surviving R.Kelly.
Well, yeah.
So get them to do another one and get another outrage, and then the ball will start rolling.
Well, I'm just saying...
That's the formula now.
Is that going to be a problem? Because I can't think of not playing Thriller.
Let's occupy... Well, for one... Michael, I don't know.
Michael's situation was different.
Michael's situation was different.
Saying.
I don't believe... I believe Mike was set up for the bread, so that's just me personally.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And R.Kelly was out there. We all knew it every step of the way. So
I just hope it sticks with people like the way you said. Like,
if they go at the Mike, they better go at the Elvis.
And see, here's the thing. Like, are we not going to watch? It's like when those channels took off on Cosby Show. I didn't like that because, number one, I felt like the show had other people on there.
Correct.
You understand? And I felt like the show, he was acting. So it's not like the show. I think Kel's situation is different because Kel's actually was telling us in his music what he was about. So I'm always going to make, to me, that's always going to take away from everything else. Like the Cosby Show itself, Cliff Huxtable isn't on there like drugging nobody. I mean, even as a doctor, you barely even seen him at the office. I don't even know if you saw him at work on the show. I gotta go back and watch an episode or two.
It's a couple episodes when I'm at work.
Yeah, we had the coat on, but he's not drugging nobody. Or versus Kels is calling himself the Pied Piper, and everything you go back and you listen to, you kind of get the feeling that he was talking about a young teenage girl, and you definitely gonna think about it now because the older they get, the more he looks like he's a pedophile, right? Allegedly. I mean, you can sue. I ain't got no money, but my point is that, you know, I just hope it sticks with people that are like that. I hope we don't get to the point of a slope when we start saying like, well, this person's talking about this in their music, and you know, we take them off the possibility, you know, like a Minority Report. You know, like when you start punishing people for the crimes that they said they're thinking about committing. I hope it doesn't get to that point when I'm saying with music. I hope we stick with the Kels and them of that type of those type of folk. You know.
But if they go after all these people, go after the uncle in your family. Go after the cousin. Go after the guys in the neighborhood. Go get all them off the street too.
I do think it speaks to a bigger issue, like you said. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, get your uncle. Yeah, that's you. I'm talking about your brother. Yeah, I'm talking about them. It could be your sister or whoever it is. I mean, they need to go too.
Yeah. Those uncles that we just said, you just know your uncle just fresh like that? Nah, we need to start checking them.
We had the same thing go on with Nicki Minaj's brother. Yeah.
Shh, that's heavy. Yeah. That is real. That is real. And for our understanding, you know, I can't imagine.
He's in jail right now.
I can't imagine being in Nicki's shoes because it's like, that's still your brother. But you're paying his lawyer fee. But, you know, for the situation that he did, it's like, I can't imagine being in that situation. But you're right. We got to start holding people like that accountable and getting them help for that. You know what I mean? Or getting them tortured if they don't get help.